And next up is a MarkMagic case study about how Revman and Randa, so this is cyber R&R, they've improved fulfillment speed, and Chuck's going to give that presentation. Take it away, Chuck.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Hey, before you sign off, is Alex going to be part of the roundtable at 4:30? I have like a list of questions for him. I was just taking all kinds of notes.
Yes, I'd be happy to.
For that? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, that was very insightful. So I'm going to go through just a quick PowerPoint that, Phil, you're going to drive. You can share your screen when you're ready, and we'll start kind of clicking through. And it's really just boils down to 2 case studies that we've done in the past. So when we were looking at this conference here, we're like, well, how can we help people or help companies, reboot, into the new economy as we come out of the pandemic. And we're actually able to kind of look at the past a little bit and cherry pick some things from, again, 2 case studies, which we have much more in depth available on our website from Randa and Revman. And Phil, I'm still waiting for you to share your screen and put up the PowerPoint.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, I love that Alex said his number 9 was don't be a first mover, right? Or there's some dangers to that. Hello, everyone laughing at me for holding on to my BlackBerry. I wasn't a first mover. See? So Alex, thank you for finally vindicating me. Hold on. Now I have moved on to an Android since then. But, so to the case study, shall we? So these 2 accounts, one of them happens to be an iSeries account too, Randa and Revman. Just a little bit about what they do. And again, you can get much more detail on both of these companies and how they use MarkMagic and what their business is on our website. But again, just kind of taking the cream off the top here. Randa is it's a very large men's accessory company. So they're packaging things up and distributing them all around the world. Revman is a leader actually in home fashions, and they have their own brands, and they also do some private labels like for Kohl's and Walmart's, Bed Bath & Beyond, and that's where we get into like some drop shipping. So if we just kind of look back, if you just go to the next slide here, how did these companies, how some of the things they're doing that we've learned over the years, and how we can possibly take advantage of that going forward for ourselves. So, and it's a little bit of a journey, so just follow with me if you don't mind. So on the Revman side of things, they happen to be a Windows-based user. They actually use the Manhattan Associates Scale product. They came to us years ago with about 40 plus different formats that they have coded, like zebra labels and different bill of ladings and all that they've kind of done, I'll say somewhat ad hoc over the years, that they use to print out and provide to their customers and to their manufacturers. And they wanted to basically streamline all of this. So one of the first things they did is like, you know what, let's use, and this is a little bit of a plug for MarkMagic, you're going to get some of that and some of the services we have, but this is one that you may not be aware of, is a common hurdle like that you would think you would have is like, all right, well, if I'm going to go to some other package or some other, way of doing things for my labeling, I'm going to have to redesign all these labels, all these forms. That's a big effort. Not true. So what we're showing here on the screen on the left-hand side is actually ZPL. So that happens to be the Zebra programming language. It could be other printer languages too. It's basically the print stream that goes to the printer. So why is this important? So one way or another, they're printing to these printers with a print stream like this. Cyber has the capability, using our print stream importer tool, to actually take that print stream that may have been hard-coded 20 years ago, suck it into MarkMagic and our JMagic designer, which is what you see on the right, in less than 5 seconds. So we can take that old print stream and turn it into a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get format, right into MarkMagic and JMagic, where then all of a sudden you're not looking at printer code anymore. You're just dragging fields around, you're making changes, and it's super simple. So that's the first thing they did. They had about 40 formats that they sent us the files for. We converted, sent them back, and like, great, we're over that hurdle. All right, what's next? So the next slide kind of shows, and this is a very unique thing that Revman did, is instead of, so now MarkMagic, they got everything in MarkMagic. They've integrated it with the Scale product. They actually use our print monitor. So the Scale product creates a flat file out there with label data in it. MarkMagic is watching that all the time, and we're automatically printing, and we're super fast, right? So very unique. They decided, it's like, you know what? I know MarkMagic can output the native ZPL to these Zebra printers, right? So we can do that, and we've been doing that for years. But instead, they purposely told MarkMagic, you know what? Don't create ZPL, don't create Datamax or Sado language. Actually create everything as a PDF. So every label that they print is actually a PDF label. So they'll have a PDF file with thousands of labels in there. And why is that important? So in their case, they were actually, over the years, and this was like a no-brainer ROI for Revman, that they were, in the past, they were actually printing out thousands, I mean, hundreds of thousands of these labels down in South Carolina. They'd box them up and ship them overseas to their different suppliers. So they would then stick them on the products and ship them wherever they need to go. So I think it says in the case study, but I think it was like $50,000 a year they were paying. So, you know, in a matter of weeks, this whole thing was paid for. So, all right, forget about printing out the labels. Instead, everything is now a PDF, super fast, right? And they can just email the PDFs overseas. So it's instantaneous. So they save all this money and time. They get the PDFs over to their suppliers. They can print them out. It's a regular PDF. MarkMagic happened to create it, but it could print out on a laser printer if you wanted to. It could print out on all these different thermal printers. It's there for the taking. And the other thing that was interesting, and I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure I got it right, because I was going through the case study a little bit, was I actually have a PDF file here with 45,322 labels in it. So that was like some test they did years ago, and they sent it to me. So it's one PDF file, right, that created tens of thousands of labels in it. And they did that in so MarkMagic did that in 3 minutes. So you would think, well, maybe I'm going to take a performance hit or something like that if I create everything as a PDF, like the printers are way too fast. Not at all the case. So if you do the math, that comes out to 3.9 milliseconds per label. So don't worry about performance. So the takeaway for me is, and you may not be doing this yourselves right now, is, you know what, the idea of this whole PDFing, which I've only hammered on it twice, it's very useful, right? So maybe, you know, what you're printing in-house now, you can kind of offload that and email it, and all the advantages that come with it, right? So it's instantaneous. You save a bunch of money, right, on labels and printers and all that. And maybe your customer is handling that. So the next company is Randa, and this is actually an iSeries account. And before, I'll let you know when to click. That happens to be a little video there, folks. We're not going to play it quite yet. Hold off. Randa, so they make the men's accessories, iSeries account, workhorse. It's all great. So one of the things we learned from them is the kind of, when it comes to packing, right? So if you're shipping in eaches, and this is a great example of this, where you're shipping out things one at a time, right? So instead of double or triple handling things, right, and taking things, put them in maybe a plastic bag, putting in a box, and then printing out a label, putting it on the box, putting the label on the box, and then, you know, shipping it out. They use one of these kind of specialty printers called an auto bagger, which MarkMagic supports. We have for years. And it's really neat in that, and this is good if this is like a situation you find yourself in, where it really automates doing these one at a time, you know, shipments, where you can just take one thing. MarkMagic will actually print on the plastic bag itself. So it's actually blank plastic bag stock that's in there behind this printer that we're about to show you. We print on it, then we're done. The printer seals it up, and then they just ship it right out. So go ahead and play the video. We'll just watch this auto bagger in action. So the only handling or touching going on is right there. It's in there right now. So, and I imagine some of these bags can even be sanitized nowadays, or even the inside, so it's ready to go. So something to keep in mind, right? So the idea of PDFing, we got the auto bagger. And then just to kind of finish up, this is a short talk here on the different case studies. Another thing that Randa and tons of other accounts have taken advantage of, and we're glad that they do, is Mark or Cybra's label and forms creation services, and we do this for free. It's no cost to you guys. So Randa has come to us even last week. I was just looking. They requested, Randa, if you're on the line, I know what you're doing. you guys came to us last week with 7 more formats, which we're thrilled with, because so the services, if you have some different compliance labels or forms like the ones you're looking at here for Macy's and so on, and we don't, if for some reason Cybra doesn't already have it in we have tons of already pre-created compliance templates that are free for you guys, and you can look on our website and grab them. If they're not there, please send us the specs and we'll make them for you, because it's a win-win. It adds to our library of forms, and obviously that we get it in your hands right away, so you can start shipping out to that particular customer. So that was my case study review. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to field them.
Great, Chuck. And actually have a question here from a customer, and that is that he says, we've been getting a lot of requests to drop ship, but that's not our business. We're so used to sending cartons, shipping cartons and pallets. How can MarkMagic help us drop shipping?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I kind of danced around that with both of these accounts. So MarkMagic supports the drop shipping, and that's a very common use of the product and our services, where you're getting a request to send something out, but the Kohl's wants you to put their logo on it and ship it as if it's coming from Kohl's. Of course, there's Amazon and so on. So within MarkMagic, we have the ability to swap different graphics and even formats based off the data being sent down to us. So we can dynamically turn that into a Kohl's packing list and dynamically put that shipping label. We can actually have it rotated and printed right down at the bottom. So it's you're drop shipping in no time. And again, we are more than happy to help you out. We've done it with tons. We have thousands of customers. And even if for some reason you just have some questions on it, by all means, give us a call, because we can share some of our scar tissue with you on how you can get up and running very quickly.